How's everybody liking San Diego? Woo-hoo! See, I've got mixed feelings about it. So I went to boot camp here in San Diego. Boot camp was quite traumatic for me. See, boot camp will either make you or break you. For me, it did both. I was 18 years old, less than 2 weeks out of high school, had never been away from home, and they fly me all the way over here to San Diego. That was traumatic. This drill instructor's yelling and screaming at me. That was traumatic. Then they shaved my head. Believe it or not, that was traumatic at the time. But I remember the first weekend there in boot camp, it's like Saturday or Sunday night, and the drill instructor gathers us all around. He wants to have this kumbaya moment. He's got us all around, and he's telling us what boot camp was going to be like, and what the Navy was going to be like after we got out of boot camp. Turns out it was a bunch of fake news. But he was having one of these touchy-feely things. And he says, does anybody have any questions? And I'm thinking, this is my opportunity. I'm a little homesick. I'm missing home. I'm really missing my high school sweetheart that I just left. And I muster up the courage to ask the question that's burning inside me. And I say, when will we be able to use the phone so we can call home? And he looks over at me and says, well, that's a stupid question. Give me push-ups. My drill instructor saw that question as a sign of weakness. But I'm here to tell you that questions aren't a sign of weakness. Questions can be a powerful tool to help you improve your performance. Because if we ask better questions, we get better solutions and get better results. We have to ask, if we do that, it's going to be a powerful tool for us. So tonight, I want to focus on that first piece, better questions. We're going to cover a few things. We're going to cover why questions are important to us as leaders, what questions should we avoid, and how do we come up with good questions. Everybody ready to get started?
Yeah.
Why are questions important to us as leaders? Does anybody know what our people we work with, do you guys know what they want from us as leaders? Anybody? A lot of people say motivation. It's not motivation at all. Well, it's not motivation because people are perfectly content to sit there and be unmotivated as long as the pay's the same. What they want from us as leaders is to make a decision. And maybe hundreds of decisions. And what's the one thing that we need to be able to make a decision? Information. Absolutely right. And the more information you have, the better information you have, the better decision you make, right? You've got to ask questions. You've got to get the right questions to get people to give you the information that they have. They've got information that will help you make the decision. That's why questions are important to us as leaders. Now, we want to get this information, so we have to ask questions. There are 11 different types of questions we can ask. Most of them we should avoid at all costs. I'm going to go through every one of them for you real quick. Can, are, is, do, and does. Those are horrible questions. You know why they're horrible questions? Because they can all be answered with a yes or a no answer. Can, are, is, do, and does don't give you any information. So that leaves you with the reporter's questions. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Those are the reporter's questions. I think that's too many questions. That's too many to remember anyway. So, where, who, and where, who, and when. Who cares? Who cares? All those questions do is just regurgitate a fact that somebody knows. Just gives you a quick fact. It doesn't really give you anything you can really get information out of. So now we're down to 3 questions. What, how, and why. And why questions are very dangerous. Why questions, you ask somebody something, why, they get very defensive. Brandon, let me ask you a question. Why did you choose to wear such a colorful shirt tonight?
Brought up my eyes.
because he has so many colors in his shirt. See, automatically he wants to defend why he chose to wear that shirt. It doesn't really help our conversation. He kind of gets standoffish a little bit. It's a tense conversation. So we should not ask any why questions. It's easy as that. Just never ask another why question. Any of you have kids? I challenge you to go for a week without asking a why question. Why did you do so poorly in school today? That puts them on defensive too. It's hard not to ask a why question. It's natural. What's left is what or how questions. What and how questions give you open answers. It starts people thinking, what could you have done differently at school today? See there? Start thinking a little bit more. How could you prepare better for the test? Starts thinking a little bit more. What and how questions give you a lot of good information. Think about next time you're at a project meeting with your project team and you've got a lot of complex problem you're trying to solve with lots of different scenarios. You ask, what other issues should we consider? It's a fairly simple question, but it really opens up a world of possibilities for them to give you information that will help you make a better decision. So we talked about why questions are important and what questions to avoid. Now let's talk about how to come up with a really good question. It's a fairly simple formula. Your questions should be short versus long. The answer should be much longer than your question. If it's the other way around, you've got it wrong. Your question should be open versus closed. If you stick with what and how questions, you'll get a very open answer. People can elaborate more rather than a yes or no question or being very defensive and holding off on information. Your questions should also be simple versus complex. You should not have to explain your question. So simple, open-ended, short questions. SOS. It's the magic formula, right? For better questions. You see, as kids, we ask a lot of questions. Kids ask between 100 and 200 questions a day. They ask so many questions, it drives the parents to want to pull their hair out. Speaking from experience. But over the years, probably because their parents have gotten on to them, over the years kids ask fewer and fewer questions. But I hope you've learned tonight that if you ask the right questions, the type of questions that encourage people to collaborate, the type of questions that enhances creativity, then you get better. Those better questions lead to better solutions, which produce better results. As leaders, people come to us thinking we have all the answers. But the best leaders don't have all the answers. The best leaders ask the best questions. Toastmasters.